Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room, except Louis.
It's a damn boat, dude. Are you kidding? So cool.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Very, very familiar, yeah. My man was a stoner and a gamer. It's a Super Nintendo. Wonderland Turbo.
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Yo, what a great setup, dude. Holy crap. Can you imagine streaming from here? Oh my gosh. That would be dope.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself.
What's cool is they keep you invested by making you do the things
In our sessions,
while
I
the
saw the
story's
same
being
behavior.
told.
His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
So I'm controlling the fish and the person in the labyrinth.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
So basically, I'm not paying attention to the fish. So you know something bad's gonna happen
And
with the
things that
slicer.
have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
This is so weird.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery, I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
So essentially what you're doing, right? You're controlling the person in the labyrinth with your left stick, and with your right stick, you're cutting the fish and doing your job. It's super weird.
So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
So he's going crazy at his
He no
job.
longer spoke at the cannery,
Is what's going on, right? He's going crazy.
but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
No, I know what's
It
going to
became a
happen,
game
yeah.
for him.
Now I'm
He'd conquer a
controlling the
city,
boat.
then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince. The prince was on his own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Oh no, they're speeding up the fish.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
This game is unreal, dude.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Am I supposed to go up the conveyor belt? Oh my god.
I still thought I could save him.
What is this madness?
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Oh my god.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
What?
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I think Ocean needs to visit.